Hey guys, welcome back to Dirk's Newman Files and another coffee time, where we spend a little bit of time talking about coffee, models, some 3D modeling, and other shit, just because we can. Today's episode is sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee, the Black Rifle Coffee Company, bold like the foundation of our amazing country. Nah, just kidding, they're not sponsoring me. It's just a coffee I like to drink every now and then. Usually I just drink whatever coffee's around the house. My wife's not into caffeine. She has a reaction to it, so usually it's just decaf coffee. So, you know, Folgers, whatever we have around the house is what I do with. And of course, I like to go out for real coffee. Well, real, but caffeinated coffee. I'll go to Quick Check or 7-Eleven, something like that, and that's good enough for me. I am not a coffee snob. I do not dig the Starbucks overinflated burnt coffee flavor, anything like that. I don't ground my own beans like a colleague of mine does. It's just not me. I just drink coffee. And I don't drink it to get a boost. I just like the flavor of it. That's really the only reason I drink it. But anyway, today we're going to look at a model that I did some years ago, about 10 years or so ago. This one. There is a video series on the channel back in the archives a bit. The build was about 10 years ago. The video series, because of the rebuilding of my channel, is less than 10 years back. But this was my first rat rod. This is the AMT 55 Chevy pickup truck. It's not like the world's greatest kit, but it's a kit that you see out there quite a bit. Well, let me back up a second. I'm sounding very presidential with my all over the place in this, anyway. When I was looking for something to build or to show you guys this week, I had this stored away someplace. And when I went to pull it out, it looks like something fell on it because the back axle was completely removed. The bed was off. One of the mirrors on the passenger side is off. And even one of the cross members inside was cracked. I don't know what happened to it because it's in a hutch where, you know, it's kind of nestled away for nothing to happen to it. But so I had to do some repairs on it before I could show you this. Also, the thing that's happening to it, as you can see from here, this angle here, for some reason, all the paint started chipping off the top edge of the bed here and also in the bed underneath it. Not sure why. And the entire paint system here, because this is like 6 different layers of paint to get this effect, is starting to peel off too. While I fix the broken parts, I'm not going to worry about the paint because there's just no way I'm going to be able to fix this. I'm just going to leave it instead of making it worse. Maybe at some point I'll have the drive to maybe make it look like it's been primered or something. I don't know. But for right now, it is what it is. And what it is a rat rod. I've always been a really big fan of the rat rods. I love rat rods. I see a rat rod on the road, I have to stop and look at them. They're just the coolest thing. But at the time, I had never built one of these things. But every time I saw one online, people doing it, I'd always watch. And there is a guy on the YouTube that I've become friends with, Nick Ambergy. He was a freaking rat rod savant, man. He could build rat rods like you wouldn't believe. It's just a great builder. And I kind of lost track of Nick after I left the Book of Faces there. I couldn't stand that anymore, so I left that. And ever since then, I haven't really talked to him. I haven't seen him. I don't even know if he's had any new videos out lately. If anybody knows Nick, tell him I said hi. Or Nick, if you happen to see this video, drop a line, man. I miss you. You good stuff. But anyway, Nick, back then, was creating a rat rod group build. And we were talking, and he convinced me to get into it. You know, why not? What can it hurt to get into it? So I did. This was the kit I chose. There is a shit ton, and I do mean that in the actual metric of shit ton of modifications in here that I had never done before. So, like, chop the top. I had never chopped the top before, so that was a first. I had to tub out the bed. That I had never done before. I made custom-made headers for the vehicle. So now the headers come off the block, all, you know, four aside, coming out, rerouted, and then they come and they fit into this tube here that exits out the side of the fender. That was a first also. Oh, and I think they call it Z-channeling the frame. That was a first also. And it was all done by the seat of my pants. I have, you know, like I've seen Nick where he actually gets out graph paper and measures and does the cuts for the frames and stuff like that, or makes completely custom frames. This was all done, like I said, by the seat of my pants. I have no idea what I was doing. And while it's not perfect, it was a lot of fun to do. Another thing I did on this was on the seat. The seat, and if you go back to the video series, you'll see I took the seat and I cut holes in the seat where you would sit. So the back of the seat, I cut a big hole. The bottom of the seat where your ass sits, I put a big hole in. And then what I did is I made a faux seat cover. You can see it here through the lack of a window. It kind of fell out. But that is a paper towel that I use, and I cut to make it look like a seat cover. And it's molded into those holes, so it looks like an old seat with, well, you know, butt placements, you know, so you know where to sit in the car, where everything is worn out. So thought that was really cool. Let me take this off for a second. Also, the roof, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but the roof is covered in license plates. Also, let me take these out because these are gonna fall. Also, on the bottom, I cut a hole in the floor and made an I Can't Drive 55 patch to cover it up. Which is kind of silly because when it's sitting on the shelf, you can't see it. And nobody's going to go around lifting it up and showing you unless it's something like this. But yeah, that was a neat touch, I thought. The engine itself is just, you know, just a standard engine that came with the car, the model. I didn't use the flat. I think you had the option for a flathead or a regular motor. I just used the regular motor, and I put velocity stacks that I had in my stash somewhere. I thought that would look cool to have them sticking out of the hood. Did I wire it? Oh yeah, I even wired this. Go figure. But yeah, so to get the body effect, the weathering, just primers and layers of different paints and primers, and then overall I sprayed it down with Rustall. It's a 2-part system I think you can get. It's really weird because it kind of seems like a garage kit, but you can spray that on and it gives the rust effect. It's really good, especially when it comes to like the wheel covers. So it dulled them down and it put rust inside the wheels. It looks real good. You can see the Rustall effect on the bumper and the emblem on the hood. You know, it was pretty cool. So custom license plate from the vintage of the truck. I thought that was kind of a neat touch. But yeah, that is my first attempt at a rat rod. I have since done a couple more of them, and I keep saying I'm going to go back and do more because they're just so fun to build. The problem is that I think a lot of people don't build them. It's a lot of custom work because you don't just take a kit, shake the box, and have it done. You know, trying to cut the frame out, modify the frame, and all the other stuff. It takes a little bit of an effort. So, but I hope to get back to some more. I've got 2 actually sitting on my shelf right now that I started. Oh, excuse me, and I just haven't finished yet. One of which is a semi. Actually, the other one that's not the semi was another build that was inspired by Nick that I just haven't done yet. It started, but I just haven't finished it yet. But But the semi is one that I want to get back to because that's close to being completed. Come on, it's a cool idea. A semi rat rod. Cool. But anyway, that is my build. Oh yeah, also, if you haven't noticed, I custom made some flags for the back of it. This is really, I downloaded some images of flags off the interwebs, and then I printed them out on decal paper, and I adhered them to tinfoil. This way, the tinfoil I can fold, and you know, as you can see, it looks kind of like it's waving a little bit. So it's not that flat, fake look of a flag. It gives it a little bit more realism to it. That's what that is. These are from, like I said, printed on tinfoil. So that is that. So that is my throwback. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I think I could do better now, but, you know, for what it was pretty cool. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, up next in Dirk's world of scale modeling is this 3D print that I did. This is one of the first 3D prints I ever did when I got my printer. This was printed on an Elegoo Neptune 2 printer. It's an FDM printer, and it was one of the the very first prints I had done when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I didn't realize about hollowing out and supports. So this sucker, yeah, this sucker is solid. If you don't recognize this, this is from the movie Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was from the opening sequence where he was in the cave with the big ball. This is what he stole. This is called a fertility idol. It's kind of neat. Like I said, it was built, it was printed on my FDM printer. It's solid. Before I knew what I was doing, so there's some layer issues in it. There are some support issues on the outside. I had so many supports on the outside of this, it took forever to break free and clean up. So there you'll see imperfections, and well, it is what it is. But it works, because I could tell you, I've got 6 kids, so this thing must work. Just kidding. I have 6 kids not because of a fertility idol, but because I didn't have cable back in the day. That's what it really comes down to. But anyway, it's a cool piece. It sits on my desk, and as many people that have seen the movie, when somebody sees this on my desk, they're like, "What is that?" Nobody seems to recognize it except the really, really big-time geeks will notice what it is. But yeah, it's just a fun piece. It looks cool. Yeah, it's just a unique piece. So that is my 3D print of the week. Well, that's all we got for this week. A little lighter than normal, but let's end this with a bang. Hey guys, welcome back to Dirk's Explosion Files. Yeah, it's that time. It's been a long time since we blew something up, so we're going to do it now. Here's what we got. We got this Corvette that I got. It was part of a lot of glue bomb cars that I bought at NL East one year. You know, you paid like $5, you got a bunch of models in it, stuff like that. In the hopes of turning a pig's ear into something nice. It had some Mustangs in the pack, and that's why I got it. Not the Corvette. Corvette was just a throw-in car, so to speak. But we're going to take this because there's not much I can do or really want to do with it. It's Corvette, so who cares? Sorry, Corvette guys. But anyway, yeah. So we got this Corvette. I took a piece of TNT, aka M80, that I had from the I Dream of Jeannie explosion, if you remember, some leftover ordnance. Stuffed it in the best I could. It actually won't fit, but it's so tight that should make this explosion even better. So we're going to take this outside and set it up and see what happens. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're welcome.